Rusty peanuts. Right, let's start a new week. Just the other day, I used Transit Face to go and collect a Citroen Ibiza or whatever it's called, and obviously use the ramps. And that was a nice dry day. And I didn't go as far as putting things back where they belong, strapping the ramps down and everything. And that means I've got to do it in the wet now. That is not forward planning. I would like to start today's video by saying thank you. I would like to, but I can't because I've already started it. But I do mean thank you actually to those lovely people who've made a contribution to the Project Nigel fund in exchange for music that can be used for ringtones. I do feel a bit like I've gone into the realms of cyber begging, but you know, if you don't ask, you don't get. What a good start, thank you. More to come, thank you. More music later, thank you. Use you on the side of the road, thank you. Ramblers! As you know, I'm on my way to pick up a car. And as you know, or do you? I don't know, I haven't decided on the thumbnail yet. But as you know, it is a Rover 620 that is, again, another salvage job. This Rover has been sat in a yard, in a garage, for a year because the old gentleman that owns it stopped using it for one reason or another. I don't know whether it's because it's broken down or because it might have been because it ran out of MOT. In fact, I'm just waffling, I've got no idea. It could be anything. It could be they don't like the colour. Night Fire Red. Of course it's Night Fire Red. They're almost always Night Fire Red. Personally, I wish it was a different colour. This will be the third Night Fire Red Rover 600 I've acquired. I've not had one in another colour. So that shows just how popular the colour is. Either that or just shows how often it is I'm likely to buy a Night Fire Red Rover 620. The thing is, hopefully the paint on this one will come up better than it did on Project George. Anybody remember George? Hello, Project George. I know you're still out there. In fact, the owner has that car back up for sale and it's been resprayed. And blimey, it did need a respray on that roof, that's for sure. I really need to get rid of my moustache or my beard or something because it's just such an awful plaything. I can't keep my fingers off of it. Men with beards, how do you manage? Because is it the same for you? You got the moustache, you have to keep twirling it. You twirl it, you realise it looks kind of cool, but also kind of stupid. So then you uncurl it, and then your beard, you twizzle it around until it goes into a point, and then you untwizzle it and you separate parts of it and turn bits all over the place like this, and you realise after your chin's really hurting quite a lot, but that's all you've done is just sat there messing with your beard, and you feel somewhat embarrassed. You feel like, you know, surely your fingers can be put to better use than twirling hair around like a one day somebody's going to buy that Volvo. Oh, there they are, my dangly bits. These, I could do the proper clip really. I'm going to continue using my earphones as a microphone, and I could do the longer cable. Anyway, that's by the by. I just thought I'd mention this. I've already got a name for this particular Rover 620 in Night Fire Red, and that name is Harry, as in Harry Seacombe, because I quite like some of the work of Harry Seacombe. Why wouldn't you? He was in the Goons, wasn't he? With Spike. And it's called Harry because it's an L reg. An L is Wales. I consider L to be Wales because of the amount of postcodes that have L to start with. So there we go. That's my rather obscure reasoning for calling it Harry. When in actual fact I don't even need a reason. I can call it what I like. I could call it toothbrush if I wanted, or even the second bristle on the third row of the toothbrush. Or I could just call it Nigel. I could call it I want to go on my bicycle today, but I can't remember where I put my socks. Or I could call it red traffic light. I could call it Toby and the Hamster Club. That's probably enough examples of things I could call it. Look, Ian Edward, Rover specialist. I wonder if there's any Rovers in there. Well, probably not. As I say, it's servicing and repairs to all makes, so it's unlikely. But hello, Ian Edward. Are you still there? Oh, there's somebody inside, but they're repairing a Suzuki by the looks of it. Good news! Harry, the Rover 620, is on the back of the truck, heading for Project Nigel headquarters. Bad news. Some scrote's taken the cat off of it. Well, when I say taken, I mean cut it off, obviously. And so the plans for this car are slightly different now, aren't they? These people really are utter scumbags. If you steal cats, you are a dirtbag. Do you know what? What can I do about it? I've already agreed to buy the car. The old boy didn't know anything about it. I'm not going to just say, well, I don't want it now. No, it's your problem. You get rid of it. No, I'm not going to do that. But it does mean that, well, it makes it a lot more difficult to actually do anything with. Because it was supposed to be a matter of it needing a fuel pump or a fuel relay or something like that, and then it could probably have a patch of welding that might need doing again and then be back on the road. But instead, that. I'm going to admit to feeling quite disappointed by this actually, because I was looking for another car that basically just needed recommissioning to keep the flow of motors on the way. Now the 800, I'm just about to offer that out as a spare, as a repair car. Hopefully as a repair car, because I could turn it into a breaker, and I don't really have many of the parts that that car has, so it would be great for me, but I prefer someone to take it on. And the reason for this is just that it needs those pipes that I haven't got, and it needs the fuel tank taken off to actually do it. And if the lines hadn't been cut in the first place, it could have been sorted out, but it needs to go somewhere with some proper ramps. Is it fair to call somebody who's stolen a catalytic converter a scumbag? Yes, it is, and I'll tell you why. Because although you could defend them and say, well, they've probably got a family to feed and all these other kind of things, I don't know, it's wrong, I don't know, we should do something better, but at least, you know, they're trying to do, no, they're not trying to do something. How you're going to go about your life, you should not have children. There has been many an occasion where I've been a bit down on myself, thinking, you know, I've got a family and I'm not doing a particularly good job of looking after them. But the thing is, I don't do anything dishonest. If I was doing dishonest things, maybe I could do better to look after them, but I don't know how anybody can think that's a good example to set though. I don't know how they can, but I know they do. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to Project Harry Seacombe. Nightfire Red Rover 620. It does have many of the usual features. Rover 600 drivers cannot manage not to scuff the front end. There's a big panel gap there. There's a few dents and scuffs. There's a dent on the inside of the wing just there. and then the rest of this side looks quite good. Another scuff there. No doubt there'll be one on every corner, because that's how you drive a Rover. Twin tailpipe, unfortunately not connected to the front of the engine. Oh gosh, look at that, it's almost managed not to scuff this side. Someone scuffed it at one point. And then there's a rusty patch just there, which is one of the usual places, and the lacquer peeling, disappearing, and then a crusty bit just on the corner there, which is another well-known feature for the Rover 600. Continuing down the side, we have a couple of scratches here and there, and then this wing is, I was going to say it's perfectly good, but it's not. That's got a bit of a dent in as well, and of course so has the front bumper, with some previous scratches and a bit of drooping. The Rover 600 is such a nice place to sit as well. It's such a shame that it's not been a car I can just turn into a car that goes back on the road again. Quick rescue, Fiat Punto. And I do mean quick, I do mean just around the corner. Which is good when I've got to be going out very soon. More days use out of this car, 3 more days use out of this car actually, and then it's going off to the land of Sorn until somebody buys it, and I won't really miss it, if I'm honest. It's the old Rover 25 is much nicer, and I know I keep saying that, but I've just said it again. The others said, fairly better. Oh, well, I end up thinking the same thing. Oh, it's just a facelift. I didn't even like the yellow one that I used to have. I miss the good old days. Yeah, when you could put £10 worth of petrol in your car and you could go more than 5 or 6 miles. I miss those days. That's it. Although there is the highly disappointing concern of this Rover 620's catalytic converter to contend with, I have at least taken Benny Jazzmag's in for its MOT, and it's passed. Correct. Benny Jazzmag now has an MOT. It has just a couple of advisories on slightly sticky brake calipers and a track rod end, but all's good otherwise, almost. I mean, it does have a bit of a leak from the engine, a coolant leak. It seems that the inlet manifold is leaking just a little bit, so I'm going to have to take the inlet manifold off and replace the gasket. Other than that, excellent news. I'm now going to interrupt this video to do a no-nonsense sales pitch video for this one. That one. I sincerely hope this video was good enough today. Oh, I hope you liked it enough, because I don't know how it's going to work out, and at this current moment I don't know how long it's going to. I've said this before, but I usually find that the videos that appear to have no content always end up being my favourites. So, will this be one of them? I doubt it really, but you know. And another big thank you to those people that have made a contribution to the Project Nigel Fund to help keep Nigel on the road and in the yard. So, I think you've done enough. You can have as many of these tunes as you like.